Ask someone why they love GTA 5, and they'll usually talk about scale, variety, the online grind, and all the stuff bolted onto the experience after launch. Ask someone why they love GTA 4, and the conversation goes in a different direction. They talk about how the city felt under their hands, the texture of just existing inside it, the weight pressing down on everything you did there. None of that is a minor detail. Those are some of the hardest things for any game to nail, and a lot of games never manage it at all. Even ones with budgets 10 times the size of what Rockstar had back in 2008. Niko Bellic might be one of the strongest protagonists gaming has ever produced. Full stop, not just within the GTA catalogue. He's an Eastern European war veteran who crosses an ocean chasing a version of the American dream his cousin Roman has been dressing up in letters for years. And the second his boots hit the dock, the whole game becomes a slow-motion study of that dream collapsing. Every single thing Niko reaches for costs him something, or goes sideways on him. He wants out. Life won't let him out. Proper Godfather type shit. Rockstar never once lets the player off the hook. What separates him from most protagonists is the lens he carries everywhere. War showed him exactly what people become after the social contract evaporates, and that knowledge leaks into nearly every line he speaks. He'll be driving Roman somewhere around bowling clubs and drop a thought about survival, guilt, or what violence carves out of a person. And given the entire vibe of the game, his lines are perfectly well written and are almost always spoken at the right time. He's a dude with deep scars trying to make the least bad choice out of a pile of terrible ones, over and over again. GTA 5 swung for something different with its free protagonist structure, and credit where it's due, that's an ambitious bet. Michael brings the entertainment. Trevor is pure chaos energy, and easily one of the more memorable characters Rockstar has ever written into one of these games. P.S. He's my favourite among the three. Franklin gives it his all, or tries to. The problem is the math. Splitting one story into 3 directions means nobody gets the sustained character work Niko received across a single, focused campaign. Michael's arc is a midlife crisis and family wreckage that more or less resolves by refusing to resolve. Trevor functions more as a comedic engine than someone carrying real emotional stakes. Franklin spends a lot of his screen time reacting to things happening around him, rather than steering anything himself. Then there's the ending, which says everything. Like in GTA 4, you finally corner Darko Brevic, the man who sold out Niko's unit during the war, the reason multiple friends never came home, the source of the weight Niko's been hauling around the entire game. You get a choice: kill him or walk away. That decision sits heavily on you, and not because the game dresses it up with branching cutscenes or mechanical complexity. It's heavy because by that point you've lived inside Niko's head for 30 hours, and you understand exactly what revenge would or wouldn't give him. I remember just sitting there for a minute before choosing. GTA 5 never reproduces that feeling in my humble opinion. Its big final choice comes down to killing Michael or Trevor, 2 guys who never wronged Franklin personally. On behalf of people Franklin barely trusts, with a great third path, the camera basically points the whole way through. There's no real gravity to any of those outcomes. The Darko scene had gravity, man. That gap is the difference between a story sculpted around a single, fully realized person, and a story stretched across 3 people at once. I mean, sure, GTA 5 was fun, but the darkness and grit that GTA 4 had was truly exceptional. Please subscribe, or I'm telling Lester to put the cops on you. Just kidding. Or am I? Just subscribe, bro. People bring this up constantly without always explaining what they mean, so let me get specific. GTA 4 runs on the Rockstar Advanced Game Engine paired with Euphoria, a procedural animation and physics system built by Natural Motion. Instead of triggering the average run-of-the-mill falling over animation whenever someone takes a hit, Euphoria calculates how a body should actually respond to whatever force just struck it. Direction, speed, mass, exact points of impact. This system runs all of it through the math in real time. The upshot is that no 2 ragdolls in GTA 4 look the same, because no 2 impacts are identical. Run over a pedestrian with a car at speed, and the body reacts the same way it should in real life. Someone falling off a ledge tumbles differently depending on the angle they went over. Throw a punch, and the other guy staggers based on exactly where your fist landed, not based on whichever pre-baked animation got queued up. There's a physical presence to GTA 4 that you stop consciously noticing while playing it, right up until you switch back to GTA 5 and feel its absence immediately. GTA 5 dialed this way back. Not gone completely, some Euphoria DNA survived, but the tuning got softened across the board, unfortunately. Hit someone with a car in GTA 5, and sure, there's a reaction, just not one carrying the same weight behind it. A little bounce, then down they go. GTA 4 sends them flying. Vehicle collisions tell the same story. Every impact in GTA 4 registers because the car's response actually reflects where and how hard it got hit. Slam head-on at full speed in GTA 5, and your car might roll away with little more than a dent. The simplification almost certainly happened on purpose, because a sunnier, friendlier, more arcade-leaning game probably doesn't need 2-ton vehicles colliding with documentary-level accuracy. Still, the net result is a world carrying noticeably less physical heft than the one Rockstar built 5 years earlier. Worth mentioning too, shooting tires in GTA 4, another small case of the physics engine producing something that simply feels right. Pop a tire in GTA 4, and the car's behavior shifts depending on which tire got hit, at what speed, from what angle, all of it carrying real weight and consequence. GTA 5 lets you shoot tires, technically, except the physical response never lands with the same satisfaction. Smaller detail than the overall damage system, sure, but it's exactly the kind of accumulating detail that convinces a player like me that the world runs on genuine physical rules, rather than convenient shortcuts standing in for them. And yeah, hospitals in GTA 4 have interiors you can actually enter. It sounds oddly specific to highlight, but it represents something larger. Rockstar committed to making locations across the city feel like real, occupiable spaces instead of facades dressed up to look convincing from outside. GTA 5 scatters hospitals across its map, and almost none allow story mode access to their interiors. Die, and you respawn just outside of one. That's the entirety of your relationship with hospitals in GTA 5. Produced by them, rather than ever stepping inside one. To be fair, GTA 5's map size makes having every single building being explorable a near impossible task, and the trade-off makes practical sense given the scope involved, but something real got sacrificed along the way. The sense that the city extended three-dimensionally all the way through rather than just along the surface. This one is controversial for sure. GTA 4's driving model split the fanbase the moment it launched, and I'm gonna defend it anyway. Because once a player pushes through that initial learning curve, something activates your neurons about what Rockstar was actually chasing. These cars carry weight you can feel through the controller or keyboard, I guess. Suspension behaves like suspension in real life. Bodies roll through corners at speed. Push too hot into a turn and the rear end steps out from under you, demanding correction. Braking distances behave like real braking distances, rather than the instant stop magic GTA 5 lets you tap into. The whole system communicates one idea constantly. This is a heavy metal object hurling forward. Respect its mass, or it will make you respect it the hard way. Learn that lesson. Stop thinking about breakpoints, corner setup, and managing a slide instead of panicking through it, and the driving transforms into something deeply satisfying. On the other hand, GTA 5 took the opposite road. Building something smooth, forgiving, and instantly approachable to anyone who picks up a controller for the first time. Brake late and you'll still clear the corner. I mean, it's kinda noob-friendly, not gonna lie. Clip a curb at full speed and keep rolling as if nothing happened. Nice. Stunts that would have splattered your car against a wall in GTA 4 go off without consequence here, and that accessibility is obviously intentional. Since GTA 5 needed to welcome a far broader audience without forcing 2 hours of frustration before the spinning stops. Fair trade-off, sure, but something gets lost. No resistance pushing back. No sense that the vehicle has its own opinion about your inputs regarding basic physics and inertia. When you move the stick, the car obeys instantly. GTA 4's cars negotiated with you, friction and all. And that friction, annoying in the moment, was doing real work, making the world feel physical, consequential, and real. This point doesn't get nearly enough attention. GTA 4's pedestrians feel more alive than GTA 5's, which sounds like a strange claim to make about a 2008 game versus one from 2013, yet it holds up fantastically under scrutiny. Rain starts falling in Liberty City, and umbrellas pop open across the sidewalk. People dash for cover, heads tilt up to check the sky. Basic human behavior, the kind any of us displays the moment water starts hitting our heads. Switch to GTA 5, and rain falls while pedestrians carry on exactly as before. They just could have added this simple touch to make the world feel much better. Just pull a weapon in GTA 4 and watch the ripple effect spread outward. Not just from your immediate target, but through everyone nearby. NPCs react to it, just like how you and I would react to the same scenario in real life. GTA 5's pedestrians wait until you point a weapon directly at them before reacting at all. Up to that moment, total indifference to an assault rifle slung openly across your back. Business as usual on a Tuesday afternoon in Los Santos. Small detail, sure, but once you spot it, you can't stop noticing it. And each repetition chips away a little more at the illusion that you're surrounded by actual people, instead of NPCs running as scripted. Then there's the phone call system, which does a lot of work in the game too. Have Nico dial emergency services, and he tells the operator his location. An actual back and forth unfolds between two people. GTA 5 gives you silence from your character and an automated menu instead. Yeah, it's a tiny detail on paper, but it's a tiny detail that exists in GTA 4 because somebody at Rockstar actually put the detail of calling 911, how it looks like in reality, and put that feature pretty neatly into the game. GTA 5 passed on it, I guess. Also, the drivers in GTA 4 use their indicators before turning. Real turn signals, flicking on and off at intersections. They also respond more realistically to traffic conditions and erratic driving near them. NPCs pull into gas stations, fuel up and drive off again like the stations actually serve a purpose. None of these things seem big in isolation. Still, when stacked together over hours of gameplay, they construct a city that feels like it existed before you showed up, and will keep existing after you leave. A sense of permanence that Los Santos, gorgeous as it is, never quite earns. Let's talk about the wanted system, a frustration that's followed GTA 5 since launch day. And yeah, Rockstar never really addressed it, by the way. Get a wanted level in GTA 5 and watch the stars turn grey. The game claims police have lost your trail and are now working a search pattern based on your last known position. That's the pitch anyway. The cops always know exactly where you are. Duck into an alley, crouch behind a dumpster they watched you disappear behind moments earlier, and the search cone finds you anyway. Because the search isn't actually modeling what officers saw, it's tracking your literal coordinates. The zone follows you like a leash on a dog. You're not hiding from anybody, you're stalling out a countdown timer, while the police pretend to search for someone they already know the location of. No genuine concealment exists. No outsmarting anything. Just waiting for grey stars to either fade away or flip back to red. GTA 4 handles this entirely differently and better. Break line of sight, slip outside the search radius, and the police actually lose track of you for real. Hiding works. Crouch somewhere out of view, hold still, let officers pass by. These are the things that made it fun, not some system that already has a tracker set on you, no matter where you hit. Outmaneuver their line of sight cleverly enough in GTA 4, and they'll search the wrong block entirely. That's the sensation, bro. Actually pulling off an escape through clever positioning rather than clock watching. That's something GTA 4 delivers consistently, and GTA 5 mostly fails to replicate. That's why you see so many mods for GTA 5 that fix the police system, because every sane person knows how bad the police system really is. Lower wanted levels reveal a similar gap. 1 or 2 stars in GTA 4, and officers behave like cops responding to an actual disturbance, doing a job rather than performing aggression for the sake of it. Hit 2 stars in GTA 5 sometimes, and the response feels closer to a tactical unit running drills than a patrol officer reacting to a routine call. The escalation curve gets calibrated differently between the two games, and not in the direction that helps believability much at all. Also, I gotta tell you this in case you didn't notice or forgot, GTA 4 cops swap into raincoats when the weather turns wet, a costume change that kinda shows how the attention to detail was at its peak in 2008. Same officer, different conditions, different gear. A detail Rockstar built deliberately into a system most players never picked on at the time. GTA 5's police apparently never check the forecast before getting dressed for their shift. Doesn't ruin anything about the experience, just sits there in the back of my mind sometimes. Throwing fists in GTA 4 involves actual moves, plural. Combos chained together, counters interrupt opponents, a dodge mechanic exists, and you can shove someone without throwing a punch at all, giving the whole exchange the texture of a real scrap between two people, rather than a button mashed repeatedly until somebody falls. Read your opponent's movement, time a counter correctly, link hits into something resembling a sequence, and use a shove to buy yourself room. Nothing approaching the depth of a dedicated fighting game, sure, but for a sandbox crime game, the amount of thought poured into making street fights feel like an actual street fight stands out. GTA 5 gutted nearly all of that, bro. A lock-on, a punch button, a counter button. That's the entire toolkit handed to you. Boring. Multiple attackers in GTA 5 turn into mashing the attack button at whoever the game happens to be locked onto, hoping you clear them before reinforcements arrive, because no crowd control options exist, no combo strings to drop someone fast, and no real choice between fighting carefully or fighting recklessly. One button, mash mash mash. There's a whole category of GTA 4 details I think of as simulation tells. Small moments revealing that an actual physics engine churns underneath the surface, rather than a city-shaped backdrop existing purely to host missions. The helicopter water example deserves a shout out here. Bring a chopper low over a lake in GTA 4, and the rotor's downforce actually disturbs the surface, rippling outward from the point of maximum pressure, exactly the way real physics predicts it should. GTA 5 gives you a visual effect when hovering over water, but the surface beneath doesn't actually move the same way. The simulation runs out of depth at a certain point and just stops. Just light a Molotov in GTA 4, and the flame throws dynamic lighting across everything nearby, illuminating walls and surfaces in real time as you carry it through dark spaces. GTA 5 doesn't replicate this at the same fidelity. Throw a grenade in GTA 4 near parked cars, and windows shatter from the pressure wave, even when the blast itself isn't strong enough to total the vehicle. Exactly how a real shockwave would behave against glass. GTA 5's grenades near a surviving car usually leave the windows fully intact, which reads as physically wrong, but I guess it stays consistent with a simulation that's been trimmed down deliberately. Explosions that fall short of destroying a vehicle in GTA 4 still leave visible scarring, dents and cracks mapping onto the blast's actual force. GTA 5 often leaves the surviving car looking pristine after a nearby explosion. An inconsistency easy to miss because the presentation stays visually impressive enough to distract you from it, right up until you return to GTA 4 and watch the game actually account for consequences. Yeah, also, starting a helicopter's rotors in GTA 4 kicks leaves and loose debris skittering across the ground before the aircraft even lifts off, the rotor wind interacting with its surroundings before takeoff even begins. Small detail reveals a lot about Rockstar's priorities while building that world back in 2008. I'll give it to you straight. Los Santos is gorgeous. Easily one of the most technically ambitious maps that Rockstar has ever produced. And honestly, it might still rank among the genre's best, even measured against today's competition. Yet, wandering through it often feels closer to walking through a beautifully detailed theme park than a living place. Every building looks incredible, every neighborhood carries its own personality, and the environmental storytelling shows real thought. And still, the whole city seems to be waiting on something, like it needs a mission to start before remembering its own purpose, if you catch my drift. Liberty City never gives off that vibe. It feels like it's running its own business, and you just happen to be inside it. Traffic density runs higher and more believable because the reference point is New York. one of the most congested cities on Earth. And Rockstar committed fully to that congestion, that liveliness and that hustle-bustle, rather than thinning it out for the sake of smoother gameplay. Pedestrian behavior carries more texture throughout. The city reads like a place built up across decades, accumulating layers the way real cities do. Certain blocks clearly older, others newer, some rougher around the edges, some trying hard to look like they're something they're not. Bro, the food and restaurant system in GTA 4 captures this difference in miniature. Restoring health means actually going somewhere. Walk into a diner, order food, eat it, and watch your health climb back up. Eating becomes a physical act tied to a physical location that you have to travel to and interact with. GTA 5 swapped that out for a snack inventory. Tap a button, character eats whatever's stored. Zero interaction with the surrounding world required. More convenient, no argument there. And convenience carries real value in an open world game. Still though, that restaurant system gave players an actual reason to exist inside the city, as a participant rather than a customer pulling items from a menu. You went places because places mattered. The city served you, and you served it back. GTA 5 abstracted that relationship away, and the world lost a layer of depth in the process. Chatting about the experience of just roaming Liberty City with no mission running, and still finding it engaging, comes almost effortlessly in GTA 4. Try the same thing in GTA 5, and it's kinda doable, sure, but it demands more deliberate effort on your part, more intention behind where you wander and why. The city itself doesn't generate that same ambient sense of being alive on its own terms. That gap separates a city engineered to feel inhabited from a city engineered to function as just scenery. Remember vigilante missions? These have existed since GTA 3, practically a series tradition at this point. Climb into a police cruiser, flip the mission on, hunt down criminals across the map for as long as you can keep that streak alive. Simple, repeatable, and it gives players a reason to engage with the city at street level in a way that feels somewhat mixed into the world, rather than just added for the sake of having something to do. You're sitting in a cop car doing exactly what cop cars are built for. GTA 5 cut vigilante missions entirely, bro. 3 protagonists, a sprawling map, a game that kept receiving fresh content for over a decade, and not one of those characters can hop into a squad car and run down criminals. The feature simply vanished. Nobody made a huge fuss about the absence at the time. I mean, even I forgot about it. But it represents a genuine loss of something that helped define multiple prior entries in the series. Some of the most fun spent in GTA 3, Vice City and San Andreas came from exactly this. Riding around in cop cars, chasing down crooks, and GTA 5 decided that tradition wasn't worth carrying forward. As I briefly mentioned before, the gas station behavior tells a related story. NPCs in GTA 4 actually use the pumps scattered across the map. They pull in, refuel, pull back out, treating the stations as functioning parts of a working city. Locations existing for a reason the world demonstrates for its inhabitants' behavior, rather than just telling you about it. GTA 5 reduces your interaction with gas stations down to just robbing the register. Full stop. NPCs don't engage with them the same way at all, and you'd be hard-pressed to find one actually pumping fuel into a car anywhere on the map. The stations exist as props. It's the gap between a world simulating itself from the inside and a world merely displaying itself for the theatrics. And GTA 4 leaned toward the simulating end of that spectrum far more often than its successor ever did. Had to save the best for last. Now, this is what genuinely separates GTA 4 from GTA 5, and it's probably one of the most overlooked or forgotten things if you ask me. As we all know, GTA 4 got 2 full-story DLCs. The Lost and Damned, which came out in 2009, follows Johnny Klebitz, the VP of a biker gang called the Lost MC. Same Johnny that Trevor curb-stomped in GTA 5, by the way. Then another DLC came out by the name of Ballad of Gay Tony. In that story expansion, you played as Luis Lopez, bodyguard and business partner to Liberty City's most famous nightclub owner. Both DLCs had their own protagonists, their own full story arcs, different kind of missions, weapons and vehicles. They were proper games slotted inside the same world as Nico's story, with some of the same events shown from completely different angles. The Lost and Damned leaned hard into that biker lifestyle. Johnny's whole arc is about loyalty, brotherhood, and watching the thing you dedicated your life to fall apart. It's gritty, it's dark, and it nails a tone the main game didn't fully explore. Then comes Gay Tony. It's funnier, set in the nightclub scene, and Luis is honestly one of the more likable protagonists Rockstar has ever written. Between the two DLCs, you get a ton of new content. New mechanics, new radio stations, and storylines that actually intersected with the main campaign in interesting ways. Now cut to GTA 5. 3 protagonists, the biggest open world Rockstar had made at that point, released in 2013 and then again for the next 2 console generations. And story DLC, none. 0. You get online updates constantly though. Heists, new vehicles, adversary modes, businesses, and entire new maps inside online. But anyone who bought the game hoping for a Trevor DLC, or something along the lines of a story chapter following Lamar or anything that expanded on the single player, they got nothing. Rockstar kept teasing it too, which made it worse. Back when GTA 5 was newer, there were actual interviews where they mentioned single player DLC as something they were thinking about. Then online started printing money, and the conversation just died. The business case for online content was so obvious that story DLC never stood a chance. Why spend the resources writing a full narrative expansion when online was pulling in billions through shark cards? It's a real shame because GTA 5's world is enormous, and its characters had room to grow. I can't stress this enough, Trevor alone could carry an entire DLC. There were loose threads everywhere that a story expansion could have knitted tight. Instead, we got GTA Online as the priority, and the single-player side of GTA 5 has been basically frozen in time since 2013. GTA 4 got 2 extra stories in 1 year. GTA 5 has been out for over a decade and has received none. That's a completely different philosophy about what a GTA game is supposed to be. I mean, it is Rockstar's money-making cow after all. And if you think you already know everything about GTA 5, I'm willing to bet you don't. Watch this next video about useless facts from every GTA mission.